This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Amberlynn read lie about her cat. Woo! We are going to be talking about the cat. Trigger warning, if you don't want to watch this video, perfectly understandable. I did not cover the first video about Rarity going missing. I'm not going to go back and cover it, unless things really change, and so we'll see. This does not change anything, so we will be going over this video. So there's that. Yes, it is still the middle of winter, but I am old, I am hot, and I'm having a power surge. So, we get summer dressing today. That's the fun thing about hot flashes. You can dress like it's summer all year round. Alright. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. I'm almost at 10K. Thank you, everybody. I don't want to spend a shit ton of time getting into the video, but I do want to kind of just remind everybody that I will be talking about manipulation and victimization from the anthropological perspective, words. But I'm also going to be touching on Robert Greene's laws of power and just the concept of manipulating people by getting out ahead of them, or that's what you think you're doing. This video is Amber responding to a lot of criticism that she's been receiving on her other two videos that she's put out. In between the video where she admits that the cat is missing and this video, because she's put two videos out where A, she's getting ready to go to a Billie Eilish concert, and then the last video was her going to the Billie Eilish concert and giving us a inspirational speech about how you can do anything you put your mind to, it like go to a concert. Okay. Going to the concert as an able-bodied person, that is the achievement of my life. Right. So, now we're here with this video, and this video is a day old as of today, which is November the 25th, and Amber is finally addressing criticisms that she's been receiving, and she wants to prove to us that the story that she was telling us is accurate, and she's going to show it to us. This is where Amber almost always gets herself in trouble, because Amber tries to make her stories seem more real by reenacting them. I think we can all remember Anklegate, I think it is, where she fell, and people weren't saying that she didn't fall as much as they were just kind of razzing her for it. Like, she fell and she hurt her ankle. And she got, what did she call it? A high ankle sprain, which is a real thing. That really can happen. So, I mean, it's entirely possible that's legitimately what happened, but she was basically bedbound for like 2 weeks or something like that. Anyway, she eventually takes us out to the spot where she fell, and she's like filming it, and you know, when she's telling us the story, she her foot slipped into like the deepest, darkest, blackest hole, and then she rolled down the steepest hill that has ever existed, and somehow was able to claw her way back up to a standing position and limped her way back to the house. And then she shows us the picture, and it's like there's this little uneven dip in the sidewalk, and there's no hill. And basically, she had just misstepped on the sidewalk, and her ankle gave out because she's 600 fucking pounds, and she went down like a ton of bricks. That's all that happened. She probably did hurt her ankle, you know, but it wasn't as epic as she was trying to make it sound, and so she got a lot of shit for that. This is going to be the same situation, only instead of being funny, this is just going to kind of point out how shitty a person Amber is. Unironically, a shitty person, and completely oblivious to why people think she's a shitty person. This is kind of echoing Shrimpgate, where people really hate that video, and I think it's still up. And she still, to this day, does not understand why people don't like the Shrimpgate video. She still thinks it's because she's a 600-pound woman eating shrimp on television. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with her fucking attitude while she's eating the shrimp ring. And she still, to this day, does not seem to understand that. Purposefully or otherwise, she still doesn't seem to get why everybody hates the Shrimpgate video. this is kind of becoming the same kind of thing. She doesn't really understand why everybody's being so critical of her that the cat ran out and is now missing. And so she's going to try to defend herself, and in the process, basically make herself look a lot worse. So, I do have her sped up. Do I have her sped up? I do have her sped up. So if she seems very animated, that is because I have animated her. We are playing with Stargazing from OG Slimes again. It's stuck to the table. You'll see it eventually. I got nothing else, so let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So this video is going to be updates on Rarity, my cat.
Spoilers. There are none. Again, if you're not into this for the cat storyline, bail now.
Is missing, and also questions and concerns that I've seen float around. I want to do my diligence and like answering questions because it just seems like a lot of people are confused, and I know
people aren't confused. They're accusing you of things and you're not capable of countering that accusation. Why don't you go look for your cat? It's been missing. The cat went missing around the 14th of November, which was the day of the Billie Eilish concert. I will stand by that until proven otherwise. It is the 25th. So the cat has been missing for 11 days at this point. Okay?
There's a section of people who watch me who stay confused on purpose.
We're not confused on purpose. We're making accusations and you're not defending yourself properly. We're not confused.
I'm making this video for them. I'm making this video for my supporters and for people who actually care about Rarity.
For people who are actually like pretending like I didn't on purpose do something to my animal. I do care about Rarity because Rarity is an innocent animal. Rarity is an innocent animal. You, however, should be a fully responsible fucking adult.
So a big question is like, what day did she go missing? Did she go missing while you were at the Billie Eilish concert? Like, I'm confused why you're at a concert while your cat is missing. Like,
because he went missing on the day of the concert.
What? Billie Eilish concert happened on the 14th.
Yes.
Rarity went missing very early in the morning on the 17th.
So I've gone back to the original video. We're not watching it, but I did go through the transcript. And let's see. My cat Rarity is missing, and I've done nothing but cry. It happened 2 nights ago, and I put full blame on myself because it's your fault. All right, so 2 nights ago from the original video was, according to YouTube. So this video was posted on the 18th. I am willing to believe she recorded it on the 17th because that's how she works, right? So, and of course she doesn't put dates in her videos, so I can speculate all I want. 2 nights from the 17th would have been the 15th. The concert was on the 14th. And it was a 3.5-hour drive to get back from Chicago. They did not stay overnight. So my guess is, this is me speculating. They got home from the concert. You know what? That would line up really well, actually. Because in the new video, she claims she was doing it at like 5 a.m. in the morning. And a 3.5-hour drive back from Chicago after a concert that probably started at like 7 or 8 and was maybe 2.5, maybe possibly 3 hours long altogether. That'd be about 5 before they got home, give or take. This is just me doing quick math, by the way. Somebody else can do like the hard math and correct me, it's fine. But my point is, 5 a.m. on the 15th is still the night of the concert, in my opinion. So the cat went missing the night of the concert. And probably because Amber was being a lazy fuck and opened the door and just let the dogs run out, and the cat ran out too. That's my speculation. Anyway, back to the current video.
I was not at a Billie Eilish concert while my cat was missing.
That is true and correct, because the cat went missing after the concert.
I could tell you that. Every time I upload a video now, the question is, why are you doing that instead of looking for your cat?
Yeah, why are you doing that besides looking for a cat?
Answer to that is pretty simple. 2 things can happen at once.
She is very smug. Alright, somebody sent me something about body language and eye zones and lie zones and that kind of thing. And I've spent the last 2 days going over like so much crap. Crap in my opinion. It was good stuff, don't get me wrong. One of the things they pointed me to was Richard Wiseman et al.'s paper. I'm assuming this is the paper because they only gave me like names and dates and year dates at that, so I'm guessing this is the right paper. So this is The Eyes Don't Have It, Lie Detection and Neurolinguistic Programming. This is talking about a branch of pseudoscience called neurolinguistic, or NLP. I don't have time to go into what NLP is, but it is not an accepted form of science. However, Wiseman decided to test the neurolinguistic eye positions and to see if they indicated by themselves if someone was lying. And with the 30 people that he tested it with, he and his cohort did not seem to find any positive correlation between eye position and lying on 30 individuals, all of which were college students. So take that how you will. Very small sample group. Very small sample group. Also testing a known form of pseudoscience, which by the time Wiseman was testing it was already pretty much, debunked. So there is that. So we talk a lot about eye positioning here with Amber because that's pretty much all we can see. We can see her micro expressions, we can see her facial expressions, we can see the movement of her upper body for the most part, but we can't see the rest of her lower body, which is, preferable when we're doing a full-on body language reading, right? And where are my notes? Why are we doing this in this video? Because that's why. Where are my notes? Going back over some fairly well-known body language experts, including Paul Ekman, who basically didn't discover microexpressions, but like really pushed microexpressions and still to this day studies it. Paul Ekman studies emotions and how they show up on our face. He's the reason why we even know what microexpressions are. Now, microexpressions have been picked up by other body language experts who use body language as a form of lie detection or just, everyday sales kind of a thing. Is my partner cheating? Are you lying to me? Do you actually really like me? That kind of a thing. Anyway, Paul Ekman is like the originator of microexpressions. Then we also have Joe Navarro, another person that I personally like. He worked with the FBI. He helps with interrogations, and taught interrogation methods. We also have Charles F. Bond Jr., who he was very skeptical of individualistic body language positionings. We also have Bella M. DePaulo, skeptical of universal lie zones. And then, of course, Wiseman, who does not believe in eye movements, which is fine. Ekman again, primary contributions was microexpressions. Joe Navarro talks about body language as a whole. Bond did a meta-analysis on deception cues, and again, is more of a holistic approach to it. There's no one individual tell. Bella DiPaolo also did a meta-analysis of small behavioral differences in people who lie. Wiseman, again, only focused on eye positions. Going back again, Ekman believes that microexpressions and inconsistencies of emotional... inconsistencies between the microexpressions and the emotions that are being thought to be expressed, right? We talk about Amber and her reset phase. I talked about this in the last video a little bit. So the microexpression would occur in between Amber switching from her reset phase into whatever emotion it is she's trying to express, right? And microexpressions can be things like a sudden look of fear, and these are expressions that last they're very brief. They're like less than a second. So that's why we go back and forth with the screenshots so much, is because like that's the second when you're going to see it. Your mind picks up on it subconsciously, right? Navarro likes to focus on stress behaviors like self-soothing, posture shifting, the tapping of the feet, fidgeting, that kind of a thing. But Navarro goes after a holistic approach. Again, he wants to see the whole body, but he also does focus on facial expressions, micro expressions, and how those things don't line up. This Eccleston, that's not his name. Ekman and Navarro's not the only person that does body language, he's just the one I'm using. They will both tell you straight up that you can't use any one body language tell in a vacuum. You have to have, first off, a baseline of the individual, because not every person's going to lie the same way. And secondly, you can't just use eye positions like Weissman disproved, right? Or tried to disprove. Whether he did or didn't, that's up to you. I think a sample size of 30 people is really not that much. But I also agree that eye movements alone are not enough, right? DiPaolo and Bond both found weak correlations in nonverbal behaviors, again, looking at individualistic tells, but taken as a whole, you can find within reason. I think it was like 50% of people, or slightly over 50% of people, were able to discern when someone was lying, because it's just a natural thing, apparently, that we do. Ekman does get a lot of critique because of the context needed for microexpressions. Again, it's individualistic. It could even be cultural. So a microexpression in one culture may not be the same as a microexpression in the other. Again, going back to what Ekman says, that you need to have a baseline and that of each individual, because every individual is going to be varying differently. Same thing with Navarro. Baseline behavior is required for accuracy. The criticism here is that each person has to have their own baseline, because each person is going to lie slightly different than the next. Bond believes that cues must be interpreted holistically. We've gone back on that. DiPaolo wants you to also take into consideration verbal content, and she believes that the verbal content is more reliable than nonverbal cues. So like the change in your voice, a stutter, sudden breath, that kind of a thing. So she's looking more at like the way you're speaking versus how you're speaking. So that's great. And again, Weissman, eye contact or eye direction is not valid. Okay. The reason why we went over all of that is to drive home the point that we have to analyze Amber's body language holistically, and we are limited to what she shows us, which is usually from her armpits up, right? That's why we go into her eyes. If you go into Weissman's paper and you look at the NLP that he was using, there's a chart where the NLP maps out the positioning of your eyes as to what in particular you are doing in that moment. Again, this is not a verified science. Amber's eyes, when I start saying that she's going into a lie zone, her eyes don't, I'm not using that chart. Her eyes don't go with that chart. When she's in her lie zone, she's nowhere near where the NLP says that her eyes should be if she were lying. The reason why we say Amber's in her lie zone there is because we have 11 years of Amber's body language at this point. So we have a baseline on Amber, we being the community at large. So really anybody could be doing this. So when we're looking at Amber, or when I'm looking at Amber and I'm like, oh, I think she's lying because her body language says she's lying. It's because I've seen Amber's baseline, right? Anybody can be doing this. And if you want to argue with me that she's not lying or that her body language isn't reading to you that way, that's fine too. There's a body language panel YouTube channel. There's 4 guys on there. All 4 of them are respected experts in their field, and sometimes they don't agree. You know, it happens. So here we are. All of that was to defend me saying her body language here is very dismissive of the whole situation. She is again being very dismissive of the fact that her cat is missing and that her audience at large is upset about it. And they're upset at her for losing the cat, but she won't take responsibility for it. So in this video, her body language is incredibly dismissive of the concerns of her audience members, to the point where she's doing something that people call duper's delight throughout the entire, when she's wearing this shirt, goes through, does the duper's delight thing, which can be an indicator that she is lying and knows she's lying and thinks she's being clever about it, right? That's not a micro expression. That's a full-on, you can see it clearly thing. That also goes back into Navarro's studies on body language. And again, Navarro has a cohort. It's not just him. He's just the one I'm using. Anyway, that was a long-winded explanation of why I'm using body language. Onward.
I'm working and I'm also trying to look for my missing cat. I'm literally in my bed in the dark, editing my videos. At like 2 a.m. as it's snowing. And
and she thinks that's funny for some reason.
Yes, please do not remind me that it is snowing and my cat is outside.
I don't for a minute believe you're actually concerned. You're closing your eyes. You're full-on smiling here. Like, the smile's even reaching your eyes.
As it's snowing. And yes, please do not remind
I do not know. I think my neighbors are bowling upstairs. I'm not entirely positive. There is no point in this entire please do not remind me that it's snowing, except maybe right here. But from that point forward, she starts smirking the entire time. She's smirking the entire time. She says, please don't remind me that it's snowing outside. Why? Is it funny? Is there something funny about it?
Please do not remind me that it is snowing and my cat is outside. I just hope that there is a loving person who found her and is currently taking care of her and just haven't contacted like the animal shelter or anything. That is my absolute hope in this. I go
No, it's not. Look at her. That's where Amber's eyes go when she's lying. This is Amber's lie zone, if you will. It's one of them. She has another one on the other side as well. But this is where her eyes, this is her favorite one. This is where her eyes go when she's lying. She's smirking. She's got her head tilted. She won't make eye contact with the camera. She's looking into that zone that she goes into. This is where she makes shit up, basically. Lying might be a bit strong. But this is where she's fabricating shit. Right?
I go through random moments where I literally have the biggest breakdowns and I'm
This is the other one.
And I'm like, all right here is so dry and painful. Even just like touching it hurts because all I do is cry.
I asked my partner about this. Again, my partner's on the spectrum, so I was actually genuinely interested in what he would say to this. And I said, I think, what did I say? I said, she is such a self-absorbed POS. And he was in the kitchen and he goes, yeah. And I said, no, seriously. And so I played the bit back to him and I said, I don't, why would you say I have been crying so much that I am now in physical pain when you're supposed to be expressing concern for your missing animal, right? So saying I've been crying, okay, that's fine, I'll give you that much. But then to elaborate by telling me how much pain you're in from the crying, who cares about you? Why do you care? You should care more about where is my cat who's outside in the snow, in the 5-degree weather, in an area where they have no idea where they are, right? And they've, oh, by the way, been missing for like a fucking week and a half at this point. What do your dry ass tear ducts have to do with any of that? Right? And I asked him about that. And he's like, well, if I didn't already know who Amber was, I wouldn't think that was a weird thing to say. And I was like, why wouldn't you think that's a weird thing to say? And he said, well, because she's stating a fact. And the fact is that her tear ducts are, or that her eyes are sore from crying. I'm like, okay. So I just thought that was interesting coming from him because, as I've mentioned, he's on the spectrum. He has difficulty sometimes picking up on body language and, you know, things that I would think are inappropriate at times. He may not pick up. He may not think are inappropriate. And he might be right. I might be overreacting. It was just kind of interesting having that double take where I'm like, Jesus Christ, why are you talking about yourself? And he's like, it's normal. So I don't know. Take that how you will.
It feels like, and I'm just becoming literally a shell of a person.
I don't care.
Rarity was everything to me.
No, she wasn't.
Like, I know some of you guys would joke around that Rarity was my favorite of the three.
Why are you laughing? Here's the other thing that aggravated the absolute shit out of me when I watched this the very first time. She's got that stupid iPod stuck in her ear while she's making this video. And yes, you can put duck there if you need to. But the point is, you don't care about this video to the level that you are once again doing your stupid wearing my iPod as an accessory bullshit just to let us know that, oh, by the way, I have an iPod. Are you listening to H3H3 while you're recording this, Amber? Is that what's going on? Or are you listening to some kind of funny comedy show and that's why you're smirking and laughing through this entire section? Is that what's going on? Maybe you should take the iPod out of your head.
That's not true. I don't have a favorite, but you guys would joke.
Look at her smiling
about that. I loved her a lot. She just like followed me everywhere, literally everywhere, no matter what room I was in, no matter what I was doing.
Yeah, it's called Stockholm Syndrome.
She was there. So in vlogging moments, you guys saw that because...
We did? When? I remember seeing you throw a toy directly into her face one time. Like, physically pelting her with a toy and her going, the fuck? I remember that.
She was always there. Like, she just was attached to my hip. And she was just my little best friend.
She can't. No, this isn't her lie zone. This isn't her making shit up zone.
Ugh, the hardest part of it all is the unknown.
It's the unknown. Is it? Is that the hardest part? The hardest part is you pretending to pout. Okay.
Where is she? Is she hurting? Is she scared? Is she cold? Like...
Yes. It's 5 degrees outside. The ground is covered with snow. She has no fucking clue where she is. She probably hasn't eaten. I don't know, man. I just say RIP for RIP Rarity, which I think was the goal here. I'm sorry to be like that, but...
Does she feel lonely? Like, it's just so much. Or is she having the freaking time of her life?
And here's where I decided that I was going to reach through the screen and do something horrible. Look at her smiling. She's having the time of her life, you guys! Is she, Amber? Or is that the story you're telling yourself so that you don't feel bad about the fact that you let your cat out? Was that the hope? Are you one of those people that thinks that you can just throw a cat outside and that it's just going to inherently know how to survive, even though it has never at any point in its life had to survive on its own outside in the middle of the winter? Are you one of those people? Because that aggravates the living shit out of me. Indoor animals do not know how to survive outside. It doesn't mean they can't learn, but to toss a 8-year-old cat out into the wild after it's never been out in the wild on its own, it's never had to hunt, it's never had to locate water, it's never had to find shelter. Also, there's probably other cats in the area that it now has to contend for territory with. And not to mention, if you live anywhere, honestly, there are birds of prey who will eat your animals. There are coyotes, there are foxes. I don't know if foxes will eat cats. Anyway, but there are animals of prey that will eat your animals. It's why you're not supposed to leave your animals unattended outside if you don't want them to get eaten. If you have a large dog, I think you're fine. But like small dogs, you're not really supposed to just let the small dogs go. There's more than one account of somebody putting their small dog outside and a hawk coming by and stealing the animal and eating it. So if you've got small dogs, you know, it's not just a cat. Anyway, so aggravated at this. Time of her life. She's not, Amber. She's not having the time of her life. That's assuming she even has a life left to have.
Like, the world is her oyster. I don't know.
Are you serious?
Cats don't run away.
Yes, they do.
They explore.
I don't know who told you. Look at her smiling. They explore. Cats don't run away. They explore. Let me go make up that story real fast.
And they explore too hard, and then they get lost. That's what happened with Rarity. She didn't run away.
Uh-huh.
People were wondering, was she stressed? No. She acted like she owned this house. I was like, Tommy, I think you have a new owner of this house, and it is Rarity. Rarity isn't like a scared cat. Like, she handles herself so well. She adapts so well. Like, she's just a smart little kitty, and she loved it here. Like,
no, she didn't, you smug-ass bitch.
This is really sad, but literally this video I'm about to show you is her laying on Tommy a night before she went missing.
I don't know what the fuck this video is supposed to do other than rage bait us. Well done. But we're also not going to sit here and watch it. Assuming I can remember how to jump the video ahead.
She's happy. She's content.
Is she, though? She is not at any point during this entire talk in this shirt, at any point is she genuinely upset. She is smiling. She's practically laughing. She's smirking the entire time. She's smug. She's everything except upset.
She's content. She's purring. And it just breaks my heart that, like,
See, here I'm almost like, okay, you almost look sad, but then it cuts. So I guess you could make the argument of she had an emotional breakdown and cut it here.
She explored too hard, and now I can't.
Where are you getting this she explored too hard shit from?
Find her, and I feel like I'm failing, but I'm doing everything I can.
Because you are failing, and you're not doing everything you can, and you know it.
I will not be crying in this video.
Look at her smiling. Okay, no one asked you to. You don't cry in most videos.
I am being attacked for crying. I'm being attacked for not crying.
I have heard people say that.
I'm being told there's no tears when I am crying.
I was told that too. I personally saw tears, but whatever.
I am being told, why are you so horrible? You're not crying. Like, it's just like, what is happening? I don't.
Your fans don't like you, and you told them that you let your animal out, and so the people who don't like you really don't like you, and they don't want to believe that you actually feel sorry about the fact that you left your animal out. That's what's happening. I personally think she was very upset in that video, but there's a large group of people who don't. And that's what's happening here. What's happening is the people who don't like you. And they really don't like you right now because you gone and fucked with an animal.
I don't know, which kind of reminds me, people were like, why were you smirking? Why weren't you crying? And
yeah, I'm gonna love this part, by the way.
This video, if you guys remember that video, it's because there was mixed company here.
Mixed company.
I wasn't the only one here. Tommy wasn't the only one here. There was mixed company. And
so I decided to make a video with the dog while I had mixed company here. Oh yeah? Really? What do you even mean mixed company?
And it's not people I normally film in front of,
So why did you film in front of them?
I was feeling a little awkward.
Awkward.
And a little, like, shy a little bit. People noticed that I seemed a little off. That is
No, they didn't.
why. People are also asking if the Tommy's Rumors video, which this one right here, was filmed while Rarity was missing.
Yes.
No, absolutely not. People are also asking, like, why do I keep talking in past tense? Like, why did I say, I know you guys loved her?
Because with Amber, out of sight is out of mind. And so I don't believe Amber has a full-on concept of object permanence. And so whether or not Rarity is still with us or not is irrelevant. Rarity is outside of Amber's personal sphere right now. Therefore, Rarity does not exist right now. If that makes sense. Like, she knows she has a cat named Rarity, and she knows said cat has escaped from her house. But since the cat is not immediately in her vicinity where she can see and touch and be reminded that the cat is there, the cat is a concept now and no longer an actual thing that actually lives and breathes and freezes. Like, she's talking in the past tense, not because the cat technically is gone, which R.I.P. I almost said Gracie. R.I.P. Rarity. I don't think she's talking in the past tense for that reason. I think she's talking in the past tense because she does not have a full grasp of object permanence. And so for her, Rarity does not exist anymore. The concept of Rarity exists, but the reality of Rarity does not. I hope that made sense.
Instead of saying, I know you guys love her. My anxiety and my mental health is so bad.
Do not even. You don't get to do this anymore.
Bad that my brain,
look at her smiling,
keeps going to the worst case scenario.
Does it? Well, it should. Because it's probably what happened when you let your 8-year-old cat out at 5 a.m. in 5-degree weather in the snow.
I'm trying more than anything to stay positive and to think positive and to just like do my diligence as a pet owner.
The cat's not chipped. The cat didn't have a collar. The cat doesn't have any kind of indicator on it that it is not just a wild cat. When were you doing your due diligence as a pet owner? My cats are chipped. And I just learned from Nerfy that apparently indoor cats should be wearing orange collars because apparently that's like the universal color for indoor animals. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to be buying orange collars for all of my cats in case they decide to bolt out the door, which that little shit of the white cat likes to do that. And you know what? I chase his ass down because I don't want my cat to go missing.
There is a small amount of defeat inside of me.
There should be a large amount of defeat.
And I don't want to give up. When you hear me speak in past tense, that is why.
I don't want to give up. Therefore, I speak in past tense. Somehow speaking about the animal in the past means I haven't given up. What?
Because I'm just having so much anxiety and fear and stuff.
Anxiety? You're having anxiety? You're having anxiety? Is the cat giving you anxiety? The fact that everybody's coming down on you like a bag of hammers giving you anxiety? Huh?
Stuff that it's really getting in my head. Another
good
question I'm getting is, why isn't the yard fenced in? It is.
I think the yard is fenced in. And I'll point it out later.
It's a fenced in yard. Another question is like, bro, Amberlynn, like, how did you not notice that the door was open when you let the dogs out? So
in 5-degree weather.
Yesterday I actually filmed exactly what happened and how it happened. So here it is.
Okay, reenactment, go! Her hair is wet. She's wearing that red shirt. But she doesn't have any makeup on.
Okay, guys, so instead of explaining how it happened, I want to show you how it happened.
Okay, this is where she gets herself in trouble because she thinks she's being clever by reenacting it and thereby solidifying the reality of it for us. But she's going to contradict herself here a few times.
I did just get out of the shower, so my hair is wet.
Oh, by the way, she showered. You need to know that before we do anything else, is that we need to know that she showered, because that is the most important detail to this story.
A mess. Don't mind that.
You always look like a mess.
So usually I take the dogs out, and this
You do not take the dogs out. So this is a patio, and there's steps going up. I do believe the yard is fenced in. And the other reason why I believe the yard is fenced in, follow me on this one, is because we all know that Amber's ass is not out there putting both of those dogs on a leash and monitoring them while they're in the yard. Obvi. So the yard needs to be fenced in because we also know that Twinkie will bolt given the opportunity because Twinkie has done so in the past. So the fact that Twinkie hasn't run away yet and that Tommy's dog hasn't run away probably is because the yard is fenced in. That's my take on it because I don't believe she's monitoring these dogs like you should if your yard isn't fenced in.
Curtain is usually open. So I just close it like that. But when it happened, it was 5 a.m. Yeah.
Because I had just gotten back from the Billie Eilish concert.
Yes. And this is closed.
Okay.
And when I closed this door.
Okay, there's something. So I watched Nerfy's reaction to this because I wanted to hear what Nerfy had to say. And Nerfy pointed out that when the door is open, you can hear the sounds of the interstate while the door is open. And that's a very common sound around here. I don't think there's any part of Philadelphia where you don't hear the interstate. And so I guess I kind of tuned it out, but now I'm listening for it.
I thought I closed the door. It seemed like I did. I was half asleep.
You can clearly hear the interstate.
With a million things on my mind. And this is how far I left it open. Like, the most simple mistake of the world can happen in less than a second. And literally ruin.
Yeah, and it's much more muffled when the door's closed.
Ruin and shatter your whole life.
You're a fucking idiot. And who are you looking at? Is Tommy prompting you in the background? Is she holding up a card for you so you can read your lines off of it?
Like, a lot of people were confused saying that I leave the door open for the dogs to go outside. No.
Yes.
No. It happened after the dogs came back inside.
Which means you left the door open for the dogs to go in and out. Maybe I'm wrong.
And the only reason why I noticed is because the spot you guys always see me sitting in is literally right here.
Okay.
This is the dining room, by the way. So after I let the dogs back in,
See, the dogs are out there right now.
I was just doing things around the house. It was like 20 minutes later.
At 5 a.m.? What the fuck were you doing around the house at 5 a.m.?
I sat down in the chair and I felt like a super cold breeze. And I was like, that's weird.
Uh-huh. Sure you did.
And then I put two and two together. I came over here. It's like I said, these were closed. I opened these. I like peeked around the corner and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then that's when I knew. That's when I knew. And a lot of people are confused on like when it happened. It was the 17th at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
I love when she looks at us like this. Like we're fucking stupid. She's trying to say it happened on the 17th. Come on, you can do it. This video is from the 18th. That just doesn't work. Because I'm pretty sure people were talking, the haters had found out the cat was missing prior to this. And even then, if she had recorded and published this video where she tells us that the cat is missing, my heart is broken. My heart will go on. I don't even think I had the right key for that. I want you to be able to see that. In this video, she says it happened 2 nights ago. If this had been recorded and published on the 18th, 2 nights ago would have been the 16th. She's saying it happened on the 17th. I think this video was recorded on the 17th and posted on the 18th. 2 nights before the 17th would have been the 15th, which would have been the day after the Billie Eilish concert. The Billie Eilish concert that took them 3.5 hours at least to get home from Chicago, which would have let out at the fucking earliest 11? So 5 a.m. would have been roughly the time they got back from driving home from Chicago on the 15th in the morning. The cat went missing basically the night of the Billie Eilish concert, like everybody's been saying. That's my speculation, but either way, in this video, she says 2 nights ago. If I take it at face value, and it was 2 nights before the 18th, that's the 16th. The 16th at 5 a.m. Not the 17th. That would have been like the whole ass day before. I think I would remember when my animal went missing, to the point where they've been gone for... This video was yesterday, the 24th. She probably recorded it on the 23rd. Over a week at that point. 10 days. Anyway.
I'm telling you, we searched this house high and low and searched like surrounding areas outside of the home.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And then that's when we put it online that Rarity was missing, and the haters have officially made it to where Rarity's poster is even being taken down.
And that's a fucking lie right there, and you can tell it was.
From websites because...
Look at her, she's still lying about it.
Because of the fake Twinkie one.
There's a fake Twinkie one. Twinkie's fine. That was actually Twinkie barking.
Which is so unfair and so wrong, and it's...
And you're making it up?
Taking away, ultimately saving Rarity's life. Like, it is literally that easy for it to happen, and so many of you have contacted me on Instagram saying that, like, the same thing has happened to you guys.
I will not say that my cats haven't bolted out the door before, because they have. Ah, God, I used to have a black cat. Could not keep that fucker in the house. But my cats were... That cat went missing for 3 days. I honestly thought that cat was gone. But yeah, that was 3 days of hell. All right, that's when I learned the... Anyway. Point being, that cat was also chipped. So if somebody found that cat, they could have taken it to the vet and gotten it red, right? And he was a very friendly little cat, so that wasn't an issue. But he wasn't out there living his... Well, actually, he probably was. He was a little shit of a cat. But, like, my cats now, when they bolt out the door, I'm on their ass, man. I'm right there with them. I've never left a door open that leads immediately outside for my cats. They have a they have a screened-in porch that they play on, that they have access to, and I leave the door between the house and the fenced-in, or the screened-in porch open, right? That's the most access they have outside without supervision.
Where, like, cats can slip out the door in literally half of a second. Like, I am always so mindful and careful about things like this. I know that Rarity is adventurous. I know that...
Why does she smile and smirk and laugh when she's talking about Rarity being gone? Rarity's adventurous. Are you talking about your actual animal, or are you talking about the imaginary animal that you've made up in your head?
She has the desire to explore literally everything. So I always have to be super careful, but, like, I literally thought...
Why have we never heard about this problem before? You would think a cat that is, like, constantly trying to escape, you would have had this issue with them before. Like I said, with that black cat of mine, that cat was constantly trying to get out. Constantly. Mainly because he wanted to go roll in the dirt. That was usually what stopped him. He'd run until he found the first patch of dirt, and then he'd roll over and start rolling in the dirt, and then, thankfully, that's usually the furthest he ever got.
I closed the door because it's a routine that I do every single day, and I'm being called neglectful for it, and it's just, like, it hurts, and it's like...
It should.
If you call me neglectful for that, then you're calling every single person who has a missing animal neglectful, and that's not the case.
No, I'm not calling every single person who's missing an animal neglectful. I'm calling every single person who's done the shit you're doing neglectful, because you don't pay attention to your animals. You left the door open because you couldn't be bothered to monitor the dogs, and you just tossed their asses out in the backyard because it's fenced in. Good on you. I know a lot of people do that. Whatever. And you left the door open so the dogs could wander back in when they were done. You have 2 cats, plus Tommy's cat. Where's Tommy's cat? Or does Tommy not have a cat? Does she just have a dog? Anyway, my point is, you have 2 cats. You just left the door open?
Mistakes genuinely happen. I'm literally beating myself up constantly.
Good.
I blame myself
You should.
wholeheartedly for Rarity being missing. Like, I'm so beyond worried that there's just no words to express the pain and the regret that I have. I should have been more careful, but...
Yeah, you should. Did you fucking... Oh my god. Look at her. You should have been more careful.
Careful, but neglectful, no.
Yes.
I'm not that.
You are neglectful. You are. You, like... I am the first person, or I have in the past been the person who's like, you're not abusive to your animals, you're just neglectful. You just don't pay attention to them. They are objects, they are things to you. And I still believe that, except your neglect this time bit you in the ass. You are neglectful. You are one of the most neglectful pet owners I've ever seen.
Did I make a huge, massive mistake? Yes, and I'm gonna have to live with that. Again,
I
just want to say thank you guys so much for the support.
You're welcome.
You guys have been contacting me and Tommy.
Yeah, your haters have been contacting you and Tommy with posters and postings that they've been finding at the local shelters around the area where you live. Your haters have been sending you assistance to help you find the cat because they care about the cat, not you, the cat.
Every single time there is like a missing gray and white cat found, and it's been really helpful. And
has it been?
One message.
Have you even gone and checked any of them? Like, have you even gone and looked? You would think if you had been, you would say something to the effect of like, I know for a fact that you have been notified at least once by an outsider that there was a cat that matched Rarity's description at a shelter not far from you. I know for a fact that has happened. You haven't mentioned it? Oh, we should have gone to the shelter. I think she said something like, oh, there was a possible sighting, but it didn't turn out to be anything. Was it the shelter that you went to, or did your neighbor say they thought they saw your cat? Like,
and said that they saw a missing gray and white cat actually close to where we are. So that helps us, like, we stay in our neighborhood.
Excuse me, sorry.
Go out and look. And now we're also going to that spot where someone said that it might have been her that they saw.
So no, you haven't gone to any of the shelters. You haven't gone to the shelters and looked. Which means all of these postings that you've been sent, of two of them that I'm aware exist, one of which I know you've been sent, you haven't gone and looked at them. That's what I'm picking up from this. You might, and by you I mean Tommy, is looking in the area where somebody said they thought they saw a black and white cat, or a black and gray cat, white and gray cat. And that's the extent of you searching for the animal.
I have posted all kinds of flyers. Tommy has posted flyers. We have called shelters. I have messaged shelters.
You've called them and you've messaged them, but you haven't gone?
We have gone outside. We have gone on foot.
We've gone outside. Good. That would be the first step to looking for your animal. Outside.
We have gone in the truck very slow, with flashlights, without flashlights. We have called her name. We have called her nicknames. We have left out food, the litter, clothes, anything that she can smell and be like, whoa, that's home. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to be posting a money.
I saw the post for this where she did post like a $500 reward.
Cash reward. I feel like sometimes people will find a cat, especially Rarity, and just
especially Rarity,
see how sweet and loving she is and probably want to keep her.
Good.
So I'm hoping that, like, if someone does have her, they'll see the cash reward and they'll say, you know what, I'd rather have the cash.
I hope if that's actually what happened, which I don't for a minute think that's what happened, I hope they go, wow, this cat's really sweet. I'm going to take care of this cat. You're my cat now, cat.
I don't know why are like cash rewards a thing. I feel like that's the reason why, and it also gives people more of a reason to help look for her.
There is a significant chunk of Hater Nation that has been looking for your cat for free. Money didn't drive these people to want to find your cat. Money isn't going to keep these people looking for your cat. These people are looking for your cat because they care about your cat, and monetary reimbursement is not something that they have asked for or even considered. Fuck you. Anyway.
I don't know, but I'm letting you guys know that Tommy and I are doing everything we can, and it's just like...
No, you're not. You're literally not. You're literally doing maybe the bare minimum. If you really do have that cat box out there and some food out there, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want you to show it to me on camera that there's a blanket and a cat box and food. I want to see that you really have done the bare minimum. And also keep in mind, this is day 10, 11 that the cat has been missing. I'm pretty sure that cat box probably isn't doing much at this point.
I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared.
No, you're not. You can't stop smirking.
It feels like I can't continue on with my life until I find her.
Okay. There have been a lot of people who have been saying that either Amber let the animal out on purpose so that she could have an excuse to stay in Wisconsin, or Tommy let the animal out in order to keep Amber in Wisconsin longer. And I've been like, nah, okay. I don't want to believe that's what's happening. I don't want to believe that they are purposefully jeopardizing a cat, an animal of any variety, dog, cat, mouse, bird, I don't care. I don't want to believe that they're doing that just so that one of them can have an upper hand over the other. But her saying this, I feel like I can't go on without her. You're making it hard for me to keep that scenario out of my head. You can see how frustrated I am with this. Oh, I couldn't possibly go on. Don't get me wrong. If I were in another state and my animal went missing, I would be sure as hell trying not to leave until I actually found that animal, right? But I don't have an ulterior motive, and I didn't move in with my girlfriend after when I was only supposed to be there for 5 days. We got that number from you, dumbass. Anyway.
And it just feels heavy and it feels lonely.
Is it heavy on your chest?
And instead of letting like the depression and the pain of losing Rarity keep me from doing what I have to do on a day-to-day basis, her well-being is what is pushing me and pushing me and pushing me.
To make videos about you going to a concert, potentially the concert that is the reason why she's missing. You're so brave, Amber. You are so brave. No one else in the world has ever had to push through such a wall of depression to continue with their everyday life as you, Amber.
I just don't really know what else to say about the situation. Like,
that you're a dumbass.
I just beat myself up constantly.
Good.
And I literally hate myself right
Good.
in this current moment.
I kind of hate you too. I'm usually pretty neutral. I'm not neutral right now.
Because it's like, ugh, why couldn't I have just closed the fucking door the whole way? Like, I genuinely don't understand why it had to happen. I am one of those people who are like, everything happens for a reason, but bro, I can't.
Do not. Do not. Oh, I'm so tore up over my cat missing. Oh my god, I can't just go on. I'm so depressed, you guys, but I'm pushing through it. But you know, everything happens for a reason. Do you have a new red couch? Is there really a new red couch going on here?
Can't find a reason for this.
Notice that she's pushed that second chair. She's pushed it as far over. She's pushed it like at least an arm's length away from her so that it no longer looks like she's sitting on two chairs. That bothered her so much that she's pushed that chair away so it doesn't look like she's still sitting on two chairs.
Thankfully, it's no longer snowing. It has completely melted.
Doesn't mean anything.
So maybe she'll find her way back home before I find her. The
God forbid you go look for your cat.
looking and the finding and the posting has not stopped. Again, if you guys have any more advice that you want to give me, please
give your other animals up for adoption. Just give them up now. Just seriously, find someone else to take care of them. Just give them up. You don't deserve to have animals.
message me on Instagram. I am willing to take any and all advice. Thank you so
Clearly you're not.
much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Fuck every single one of you.
Bye.
Yeah, that's the face of somebody who's incredibly grateful. You're welcome, Amber. Alright, well, if my opinion on this matter hasn't been made utterly clear, you're not paying attention. So, this is not an emoji kind of video. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. Go ahead and leave comments down below. I'm pretty sure what it's gonna be, so, you know, this is not one of those videos that I enjoy making, I guess, is kind of the thing, but I do feel like it needs to be addressed because this is bullshit. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to my editor, who is long and suffering. Just, okay, there's something you can say in the comments section. Tell my editor, you're doing a good job with what you've got. Yeah, and I got nothing else, you guys, so The next video, I won't be doing an Amber video for a little while. A, because I don't think she's going to post for a little while. She doesn't tend to post when she doesn't have a backlog of videos. So in general, her cycle, this would be a lull in her cycle anyway. And B, other than the cat missing, there's really nothing to talk about. And I'd rather talk about some other personalities that are happening in the girl world than her. So... because I need to get caught up on Anna. I don't know what the hell she's up to now. And that's pretty much it. So, all right. I will see everybody in the next video. Bye!
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.